great good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful Friday, November 21, year of our Lord 20 and 25. My Cordaro Jewelers watch tells me it's 9:09 and change. Broadcasting today from the United States of America, the place for the brave. Like the veterans we salute today, thanks to John Basiliga and one of his great companies, Basiliga Hospitality. Like Joseph Herman, the Linwood, Hanover Township. Hugh Rogers, Scranton, PA. Richard Figler, Old Forge. We lost them this year, but celebrate them today, thanks to John. The United States of America, founded with a certain knowledge and understanding by our incredible founding fathers, that government is not, shall not be, cannot be our parent, our guide, our direction, our salvation. Not any of these things, but is nothing more than a necessary evil we require to organize and protect society. The United States of America, the country where, for the first time in human history, freedom was declared to be an unalienable right granted to each individual by God. Freedom couldn't be parceled out to groups. It couldn't be controlled by government or government officials because our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and freedom of the press. If they use it to lie and push communism and push the left and the lunatic Democrat Party, so be it. We know better. Now, armed with these freedoms, and only because they had them, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, rejects, and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally accepting nation and culture ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro show, well, it'll always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. And so, with that essential preamble delivered, we can gavel to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our commitment to common sense will indeed create and provide a sanctuary of sanity for all of you for the balance of the morning. And, you know, you see Jasmine Crockett or something like that, and then people treating her like she's normal. And you say, man, is there something wrong with me? Is it me? No, it's them. I promise you. I promise you. My word. In any event, so much going on today. I guess I don't know how much importance it has, but it will be a fascinating media event. Trump meeting with Mamdani, the Zoran, the newly elected mayor of New York City. And he asked for a meeting. Mamdani did. He's getting one. And you don't know. I mean, it's fraught with peril for Mamdani, this meeting. And it's sort of odd that he did it so quickly, in my view. Unless he's got something planned to try to embarrass Trump or show him up some way. But see, that's not going to work out for New York. I'm curious to see what his actual agenda is here. He's a phony, so he can also play nice with Trump, but then the lunatics who support him, not just the people who voted for him, the lunatics, like the real mentally ill people who support his policies and his communism and his Islamism, they're not going to be happy if he plays nice. So he's got a tightrope to walk. Trump will handle whatever he delivers. whatever it is. If he's got to kick him out of the Oval Office, it doesn't matter. See, he gets the one thing nobody can take away from Trump. He's always himself. And a lot of fools like Mamdani are fakes. So the fakes have a real problem because Trump calls them out as fakes. And, yeah. So we'll see. That's at 3 o'clock today, Washington, D.C. We're going to find out. And then you've got I got to tell you, the continuing disgrace of these traitorous, and I don't use that word lightly, traitorous Democrats, 6 in all, congressmen and senators, who made their direct message to the troops and to the intelligence agencies about illegal orders. Well, number one, as we said yesterday, they're already trained in that, number one. They don't need you idiots to tell them their jobs. That's number one. Number two, and see, that shows the arrogance of these idiots. Total idiots. And we're going to see what happens. They need to pay a political price for this. It is outright wrong. It's traitorous. It's seditious. Now, nothing's going to happen to them most likely, but something should happen politically. You know that all 6 of them are jerks. Real goofballs, real idiots, and probably mentally ill. And I don't use that lightly either. But to make those statements, you have to hate Trump so much that you don't care about the country, readiness, anything. Disgraceful. And it's all of a same piece of what has happened to the Democrat Party. Mamdani, who perfectly voices the thoroughly discredited beliefs and policies of the left. He is the Democrat mayor of New York City to be. And then these 6 jackasses. And then Jasmine Crockett. I'll say it again. I don't want to wear it out, but man, they embarrassed the bar at Star Wars. I thought it was the bar at Star Wars. No, they embarrassed the bar at Star Wars. Freaks and geeks. Wow. And they don't stop. And they don't do anything positive for the country or the people they represent. From Rich McHale, morning, Bob. After watching Jasmine Crockett make a complete idiot of herself with false allegations, and then she goes on CNN and says, well, that's why I said, hey, Jeffrey Epstein. My God. Literally can't be embarrassed. She says, I can only say, Rich continues, though, I can only say the constituents of her district are guilty of insane stupidity. But what's even more scary is that the same stupidity is mostly trending everywhere. At 66 years old, I'm almost glad I'm circling the drain. I hope you're not, Rich. But I know what you mean. Somebody texts in, we don't need the President of the United States calling for congressmen to death with all the wackos in the world committing violence, Bob. I think the tweet was ill-advised. I don't put it on the level of what they did. It's not even close to the level of what they did by calling for insurrection by the troops and intelligence agencies. Not even close. He's pointing out that their actions, sedition, treason, are punishable by death. Well, I was just talking to Jason as they were leaving the building, leaving the studio. I said, here's the deal with Trump. He's like kids that I played football with. And, you know, they're always trash talking during the whole game. And they'd get a personal foul. And, 15, you know. But they play well, and they're an important part of the team. That's what Trump does. Now, so the first True Social post was fine. It called them out just as he should, and then the second one was unnecessary. But it's not like I'm upset about it. And it doesn't even come close to the level of what the Democrats have been saying and what these 6 in particular said. Somebody referring to the bar in Star Wars that says, you'll never find a hive of more scum and villainy. That is what Ben Kenobi tells Luke when speaking about the bar at the spaceport. Yeah. That's the Democrat Party. Chris Murphy. Oh, my God, a disgusting, revolting, almost non-human. They could actually get worse than Chuck Schumer. That's who's trying to displace Schumer as minority leader. And then you got, oh, my God, I've just come across my monitor. Congressman Swalwell. Remember he ran for president? He's running for California governor. Wow. It's unbelievable. If you're a Democrat, you got 2 choices. You got to start speaking up and calling this out. And if you can't change the party, which doesn't appear to be changeable, it's getting worse. You got to quit the party. I don't care if you go independent or whatever. It's bad. And they're embarrassing you. And that is particularly here in Northeast Pennsylvania. We've got so many normal Democrats, and we've got these sickos. And now we've got the Bill Gawhans of this local elected officiate. You've got the Mayor Cognetti being left-wing lunatics, following them in every respect. And you're still voting for them. So maybe the problem's you. But you got to stop. You really have to stop. This is insane. We'll take a break and be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. I love that song. Do you? I hope you do. Jay and the Americans moved to number 3 with their hit Come a Little Bit Closer. This date, 1964, Murph tells us. And before that, there was a woman senator in 1922. She took the interim appointment to the U.S. Senate. And Rebecca Felton. And she had her couple weeks in the sun, and that was it. Fine. In any event, back with you. And, you know, the other thing that happened and came across the wires was Congressman Jim Jordan finding out the depth of investigation into him, that it wasn't just the senators now. You want to talk about totalitarianism. You want to talk about a king. You want to talk about oppression. This was a well-worn pattern. Just always remember, whatever these idiots accuse Trump of, they've already tried to do or have done. They got his cell phone calls, who they were to, where he was when he made the call, and they did this. This was not to do with January 6th either. This started before it happened, the investigation of Jim Jordan. This is insane. This is really bad. And scary, and nothing in the media about it. Nothing. It is so bad on so many fronts. And now we got to deal with who's going to be outraged. Like, I remember the question being asked. Where's the outrage? It's just unbelievable. And they just keep doing it. All of his phone records, who he spoke to. This is the Biden DOJ, Department of Justice. And then you also see they never even bothered to investigate Trump's assassin. Unbelievable. Somebody texted in apropos of, well, everything we're talking about. After seeing a picture of little Billy Gaughan and the Loser County manager in the awful Scranton Times, I realized that Rush was absolutely right. Very pretty dumb people go to Hollywood. Ugly dumb people go into politics. That is a good saying, and it's it's pretty true. Somebody else, you're right about the Democrat Party. They're total dividers and hateful. John Fetterman is now being primaried. A senator that votes with his party 90%. I'll tell you, it's more than 90% of the time. All Fetterman said was, I love my Trump constituents, like all of my constituents, no differently, and he voted to keep the government open. Yep. Joe from Trips Park says, easy to understand why Cognetti follows the left when you look at AOC's net growth over the last 5 years. The question then is, what color yacht would you like in 4 years, Paige? Yeah, it's nuts. It really is crazy. Somebody else, I'm so afraid for the future of America, really. These people do not care about America, just their crazy agenda. Gimme. Disgusting. LTS back at you. It's unreal. And it's story after story. Well, today, we're going to have Stacey Garrity on. She's the treasurer for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And one of the things I definitely have to ask her about is Pennsylvania risk of losing $75 million because our fake governor has allowed thousands of foreign nationals and illegal aliens to get driver's license commercial CDLs. You can't make it up. You just say, are you kidding me? HVA student said Murph is always bringing the hits. Yes, he is. Well, we've got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will come back. Our veterans this hour and every hour, this day and every day, brought to you in tribute by John Basiliga. Company we feature today is Basiliga Hospitality. 3 amazing bar restaurants. The Old Brook Inn, 307, Springbrook Township. Do you like bone marrow? Do you like? Unbelievable. Love it. The Far Street Tavern, the reimagined neighborhood tavern in the great Trips Park section of West Scranton. Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant. You're going to be amazed when you walk in. Joseph Herman. He was 89 when we lost him November 10. He was from Linwood, Hanover Township. He was born in the Buttonwood section of Hanover Township. Graduate of Hanover High School, class of 53. Member of St. Robert Bellarmine Parish, Wilkes-Barre. He was a veteran, having served with the United States Army, and was a member of the AMVETS in Breslau, Hanover Township. Prior to retirement, he was employed as a salesman for Petrus Baking Products. Also worked for the Luzerne County Transportation Department. After retirement, he worked at Mohegan Sun Casino. He was an accomplished accordionist who played entirely by ear, never having taken a formal lesson. He'll be remembered as a loving and devoted father, husband, brother, uncle, and dear friend whose kindness and warmth touched all who knew him. Joseph Herman was preceded in death by his wife, the former Rita Sipper, who passed away in 2022. Tragically also predeceased by his daughter, Marita Richards, who he lost in 2019. Sisters, nieces, nephews, great nephews, and dear friends, survive him and remember him. Joseph Herman. Our Veterans Tribute this hour brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Joe Snedeker. Today, cloudy with drizzle, 48. Tonight, cloudy with rain, 42. Saturday, rain tapering off in the morning, then breaks of clouds and sun, 50. Sunday, partly sunny, 48. Bob Cordaro back with you on the eponymous program. Well, it didn't dawn on me. I told you about my dear cousin who passed away, and they had a little event at the Bonavita after her funeral yesterday, which I guess technically you call it the MC. It was well done. It was everybody just with recollections of Melanie. So at the event, I'm talking to, I guess they're my cousins. They're my cousins' kids, and they tell me that, hey, you're going to be there next Thursday. I had no idea what they were talking about. Literally no idea. And I guess they could detect the blank look on my face. He said, the toilet bowl. We play this football game every Thanksgiving morning. And so it dawned on me it's Thanksgiving. Unbelievable. It just snuck up on me. Well, one of the great things that happens on Thanksgiving, and we've been talking about it for years, is the Scranton Central High School football players. All eras. And they let me barge in too. They have an event and everybody gets together. It's on the Friday. It's just fabulous. And Lou DeFazio, who helps organize the whole thing, is with us. Lou, great to have you back this year. Number one, it means we're alive, right?
Glad to be here. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm vertical, not horizontal.
Yeah, honest to gosh. Well, tell me when and where the event is and what time.
Well, we're having the Scranton Central football reunion for former players at football players at Scranton Central. And it's going to be Saturday, November 29th, starting at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And it's at the Laceworks Bar and Grill on Bundy Street in Scranton. And this should be our 17th meeting for a reunion. And it was started by Bill Micker and Bobby Ronke together.
We just lost Bill this year, right? Jeez.
Yeah, Bill, well, he actually passed away last year before this football reunion. Okay. So we're going to honor Bill and his wife, Bridget, and their young daughter, Kate. Bill moved from this area, the Scranton area, to California because Kate is out there. So, but it's a great time. We missed you last year. You didn't come, but it's kind of crazy because the holidays going on. Everybody's family's in. They're staying at the house. You got to see them. So it's a real effort to kind of break away for some people, but we have a really great time.
I'm excited to go again this year. I'm excited to go. It is a great group of guys. Just the event itself, and I'll ask you, Lou DeFazio, would you be doing it if Scranton Central as a high school still existed, or was that part of the impetus to start this thing?
I want to think that if Central High School still existed, we would still be having a reunion of former players. Mm-hmm. But the format may change. We'd have the current coach in, and we'd have some of the players in if we could, and their parents, so we're not going to deny them. But Yeah, I think the format would change, but yes, I think we would. The answer is yes. I think we would still be doing the reunion because there's so many great guys and great players. We want to see the former coaches there: Mo DeCannis, Cy Dawahi,
Yeah.
Mike Nitch, Coach Ed Chase that just passed away not too long
We
ago.
did a veterans tribute to him. Yeah, he was. That's I said. The tradition of Scranton Central football is great, and I know Dunmore does it once in a while, but man, you guys doing this every year, it's just great. It really is.
Well, if anybody out there wants to put together a get together for their school or their team or whatever, I can help guide them on how it worked, how it works, what we do, and then they can alter it. But I spoke to Dave Madison not too long ago. He was at Scranton Tech, class of '69, and I told him to come if he could. He was best friends with Rawling Smith, who was like an outstanding player.
Yeah.
And my former brother-in-law, Steve Aquilina, well, he's my brother-in-law. He just passed away. Steve Aquilina was a player on that team. So there's a lot of connections, a lot of guys we went to junior high school with at North and South. And, we have friends of the players that come. It's just a great get-together. So
1 o'clock at the Laceworks Bar, which is a great stop, by the way.
4. Yeah, we go till about 4 o'clock, and then we get out of there, and then just the owners, Tommy Gilbride and his wife Doreen, they some players stay there till 9, 10, 11 o'clock because they haven't seen each other.
Yeah.
But it's a fun time. Then we have what we do is we take a group picture at 3 o'clock. And it's around. I try not to go before 3, but like 3:05, 3:10, we take a picture that goes to the newspaper, and it's just a fun time trying to figure out some of the names we don't know of people.
Yeah.
But the committee's really a good committee.
Well, the 1 year, Lou, I snuck into the picture, and Mike Munchak, I can't even remember how he sent me the note. He was, "What the hell's the guy from Dunmore doing in there?"
Well, listen, we're glad to have you. I mean, we want everybody in the picture.
Yeah.
You know who showed up last year? Roy Davis came in to see Coach DeCannis, Mo DeCannis, and we wanted him in the picture. He wouldn't get in the picture, but he was the coach at Lackawanna Trail, and he's a long-time, football coach, official.
Yeah,
his family's involved in officiating, so it's just a lot of fun.
I just say this: the stars come out on Saturday after Thanksgiving.
That's the honest to God's truth.
Well, Lou, make sure you call me and next week someday, and we'll get you on just to remind people of the event. And next Saturday with the Scranton Central football reunion, it's always amazing, always amazing.
Okay, I'll give you a call next week. I'll try Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever works for you. But
I'll make it work for you. You just call.
Hey, listen, one thing I got to add that this year what we did was we went and we had some Scranton Central football reunion T-shirts made. And so we're going to be selling some of those. And some players have already contacted me. But we had Timmy Wagner, who's a former basketball star at Scranton Central. He put them together for us. Okay. And, we're paying for them. So we're going to charge probably $10 or maybe a few dollars more each. But other than that, I can order some. So we'll be looking at that. I got a banner for the whole team that says Scranton Central Football Reunion. I think guys will like that. And so that's what we're doing. But I'll give you a call next week just to freshen things up. And, hey, have a great day.
Absolutely love it. Lou DeFazio, Scranton Central Football Reunion, the 17th year this Saturday, 1 o'clock at the Laceworks Bar in Scranton.
It's on Bundy Street. Yeah, it's Bundy Street.
Can't beat it.
Yeah, it's great. I hope you're there, honestly.
We
want
there.
you in the picture.
I'll be there this year, man.
We love Munchak, but you're going to get in the picture anyway.
All right,
and we hope Munchak comes, okay?
All right, thank you, Lou. Appreciate it. Lou DeFazio, Scranton Central reunion next week. It really is a rite of Thanksgiving for so many great people. By the way, the Laceworks is a pretty darn good bar, too. We'll take a break and be back. It's the Bob Cordaro. The Kinks. Murph says this date, 1964, they moved into the top 10 charts at number 8 with their hit, You Really Got Me. Bob Cordaro back on the eponymous program. Somebody texted in, they said, I believe the Laceworks bar is on Court Street. It's not that hard to find. It's a great spot, though. It really is. Somebody else, heads up, when that stupid leaf filter radio spot comes on every break, I turn your show off, and sometimes I forget to turn it back on. Get some new radio commercials, or you'll have less listeners, LTS. All right, come on, you're an LTSer. That means you can endure minor amounts of pain. I don't know. I'll tell you this. The thing that shocks me, it's a national advertising contract, which, of course, we have to honor. But then on the other hand, why one commercial, the same commercial? And I'm hearing it because I have to, I'm not asking you to feel sorry for me, but I have to hear this commercial, the same exact commercial across all media. And it's exhausting. But hang in with us, all right? We've got to pay the bills here. If they want to buy and they want to be stupid and play the same exact commercial 1 million times, we got to live with it. But so hang in with me. We got enough time. I think Bulldog, right? All right, let's go to Lorraine from Hazelton. Hi, Lorraine. How are you?
Hi, Bob. I'm like the weather.
Okay. Cold and stormy? Is that?
No, weary and dreary.
Okay. Well, now we don't have a lot of time, but let's get to your poem. What?
That's not my fault. I called a couple of minutes ago yet. Well,
I
okay.
know.
Well, then, give me an extra minute, for goodness sake. Okay. It's called, and I know I never read this before, It's a Lovely Day in the Neighborhood. What is a neighbor to you? Is it just a person who is a wall away? Or someone special with a warm heart? Because all you may need is a simple how are you today? Some do not even know their neighbors. Then there are those who may not want to. Even if you try being extra friendly, quite often they just seem to ignore you. It is a shame that things are not what they used to be, because we cannot roll back the hands of time. Kindness and compassion seem to have gone out the window. I feel as though it is such a crime. There are people who are blessed with great neighbors. They can usually depend on one another. It truly makes for a peaceful atmosphere. When all is said and done, no one ever feels like a bother.
Nice.
Amen.
Nice. Oh, you finished it with amen, or that's your own?
I did. I just had it. What's so...
Oh. Well, I find you humorous. You know that.
Well, you know that you know I told you that the nuns always used to wear the same clothes because it was a habit.
Lorraine, does the gutter commercial bother you too? The leaf filter commercial?
I don't even pay attention.
All right. Because everybody's telling me.
Well, see, then
Lee in Scranton says hates that commercial. My man Mark Wozniak says I hate the commercial. And somebody says if I had a choice between 3 hours of Leaf commercial or the morning show, I would pick the Leaf commercial. Rich the Courier. Yes, okay.
Well, just so they love me, that's all that matters.
They all love Lorraine. I know.
Well, give me some feedback. I mean, that's my inspiration.
Well, we got to start writing new poems, too.
I don't have to do anything. You're lucky I called.
Well, the only thing is you are prohibited.
Here we go.
You and the Bulldog are prohibited, and Brian Hughes are all prohibited from your little jokes and puns.
Well, the more you say,
you can keep them among yourselves, the three of you.
Well, I'll give you some more leaf cutter. Oh, no, that'll be going against the people. No, I don't want to go against the people, only you.
All right, dear. Well, we've got to go because it's after 10, but thank you.
Okay, Fuzzy Wuzzy.
You know, when I look at my Picardo's jeweler watch, it tells me everything I need to know.
What about me?
Well, you tell me some things I want to know.
And then I don't tell you where to go.
My Picardo jeweler's watch tells me everything I need to know. Yeah.
Well, you need to know some stuff I want to tell you, but I'm not going to quit until you do.
Don't you have something to say for Mark Mayer?
I did say it, but it went right over your head.
What? What did you say?
I said Fuzzy Wuzzy.
All right. Fair
and
enough.
And he'll be the judge. He heard me.
All right, dear.
Mark, you tell him. Give him hell, Harry.
Thank you, Lorraine.
So,
we love you. We love you, dear.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
All right. Time for the news. Picardo Jewelers Watch tells me it's 10:02 and change, which means we're well past time. We'll be back after that. Great good morning, everyone. 10 a.m. on my Picardo Jewelers watch. This beautiful Friday, November 21, 2025. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga hospitality, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like the veterans we salute today, thanks to John. We lost them, but celebrate them. Joseph Herman, Linwood, Hanover Township. Hugh Rogers, Scranton, PA. Richard Figler, Old Forge. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all of you, other than the leaf filter commercials, apparently. Somebody said, during political season, we get abused with all those ads, so give us a break. It has nothing to do with me. Don't take it out on me. I'm just begging you. I have to listen to it, too. Somebody said, I think we should have a leaf filter-free half hour co-hosted by you and Lorraine and maybe the Bulldog. Maybe the Bulldog. He raised his eyebrow at that. So anyway, yeah, there's irritating commercials, but if you remember them and you're not too aggravated, you know. Mr. Paul texted in, he said, what Rush actually said, and it was paraphrased last hour, was that politics is show business for ugly people. Yes. Oh, Lord. Yeah, so our boy king, Lackawanna County Commissioner Billy Gaughan, he's down at the airport board meeting and votes against having a police presence at the airport. Do you see the left-wing insanity that he's trying to visit on all of us? Holy cow. He's just dumb. He's dumb. He's got no background in security. Zero. He has no idea what he's talking about. Wow. That's scary stuff, man. To be that dumb, but to keep talking. That's Bill Gaughan. He's driving everybody crazy. It's a 5-1 vote. When there's a 5-1 vote on the airport board, you pretty much know that you're wrong. Somebody said, if I see a leaf filter truck going down my street, I will egg it. Well, let me say this, though. I'm not defending. I'm going to have to, or the landscaper, or somebody's going to have to pull the leaves out of my gutters. I'm seriously considering using it. So, look at it. It has value. That's all I am going to tell you. We could get excited about the whole thing, but come on. They're just trying to turn a buck. And they've got a good product. They do. Somebody says, isn't it amazing these politicians that are going to be leaving office get to vote on all these things that affect us after they are gone? I know. Those lame duck periods are a little bit dangerous. They always have been. And that's why, based upon the lack of action by Herbert Hoover during the Great Depression, they moved the swearing in of the president to January 20th from March. Imagine how long that was. But I mean, at that time, when the March swearing in was set, it might take you a month to get to the Capitol. Yeah, but interesting. All right, let's go to the blower right now. William from Scranton. William, do I have you, or is he on hold, Bulldog? There he is. William, how are you? William, are you there? William?
Yes.
All right. I had problems pressing the wrong button. How are you?
Good, good. I just witnessed an accident.
Bad?
Well, everybody seems to be okay. It was on the corner of Joe Biden Street in Washington Ave, and an elderly gentleman, a young lady, and her child in a truck, 3 years old toddler probably, and person who smashed into them, or they smashed together, seemed to be a Latino.
I thought you were leading into a joke there, William.
No.
I actually chuckled in advance. So, okay, you actually saw an accident happen. Wow.
And the guy gets out, doesn't care about the people in the other vehicle, straps his little hoodie on thing, and takes off like a rocket.
Out of the car.
From the scene of the crime. Yeah. So he
leaves his car, his vehicle.
Just ran off down the street.
I wonder why.
You never know. He could be an illegal driver, or he might, I'm just saying. I said to the people who actually saw the guy take off, I saw him running away. I'm like, what's going on there?
Yeah.
So I went over and I said, what's going on? I said, well, what did he look like? And they said he was like a Latino guy, just got out of the car, ran like a rabbit. So, I may be stereotyping, but hey, what if that 3-year-old got killed?
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't care about the people in the car, just ran. So when people say, hey, it doesn't affect me, it doesn't affect us, it doesn't affect our area.
Ask the people that have been affected. Now here's there's a flip side to that coin, obviously. And I don't know why they couldn't come here legally. But, when somebody's doing landscaping or whatever, very often there may be illegals working, and they work like dogs. They really work hard. And I'm like, that's the kind of people we want in the country. We just want them in the right way. We're not asking much.
Correct. And to boot, wherever you come from, it doesn't matter. But I'll tell you what, if you're leaving a country because of the way it is, don't bring your
I know.
Why you're leaving to our country, capitalize on it here. It's ridiculous.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
All right, Bob.
Well,
I'm glad I got through it.
It's funny. It's funny. It is funny, but not like funny. Ha ha. Yeah, very strange.
Right. And to throw icing on the cake is happened on Joe Biden Street. Yeah, ain't that ironic?
How I drive on that. I don't even call it that. It's Spruce Street. I'm done. That's when I talk about Picardos, I say Spruce Street and Jefferson Avenue. That's it. No more Biden nonsense.
I mean, they put the sign up the wrong way illegally. They didn't vote on it. So why can't we just undo it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, with this governor, it won't happen. And with this mayor, it won't happen.
I got one more thing, Bob.
Shoot.
Somebody was supposed to hand off to you a CD of some songs. I don't know if you ever got them.
What were the songs? I did get one not long ago.
Patriotic.
I think I did.
All right. Now that was just a scratch. I got the finished product, and it's awesome.
I'd love to hear it.
I would love you to play it. So
we don't have. You're not going to believe this. We don't have a CD player in the studio. We'll figure it out though. The Bulldogs are going to have to figure it out.
Listen, you don't have the good CD. I can email you the good songs.
If you email me the songs, that's easier.
Excellent.
All right, great.
Excellent.
And you have the address? You have the address?
No, I have no clue how to.
Well, you may not be able to write now, but because you're in the middle of a crime scene, but it's Robert.Cordaro, Cordaro.
Okay.
At Odyssey, AUDACY.com.
You got it. Robert.Cordaro at Odyssey.
At Odyssey.com. Yes.
All right.
Right, Bulldog? That's the addresses, right? Yeah, that's the address. All right.
You got it, my friend.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Appreciate it, William. All right, man.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Well, running from the car. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Get it on. Yeah, T-Rex. Murph tells us This date, 1969, they played at the Free Trade Hall, Manchester, England. Bang a gong. And of course, 1931. Well, nobody listening remembers that. But the Universal horror film Frankenstein, starring Boris Karloff, who's my favorite since he did The Grinch, as the monster, and Colin Clive as his creator, first released. How about that? Bulldog found that. That's pretty neat. Hey, Mark Mayer says it's Fuzzy Wuzzy Friday. Somebody said the ad for Frankenstein could also be about Joe Biden. Somebody else takes it as a crossing guard in an area school district. The worst drivers are from New York and New Jersey. Illegals are a close second. Somebody else says, I'd like to know how that guy knows Ron was on a ladder just by hearing all that noise. I know. Oh, Lord. Bob, problem is if you listen via stream, you hear the same few commercials over and over again and over again and over again, says Navy guy. Cabinet guy says, I'm sure you'll get a discount. I doubt it. I doubt it. Somebody says, stop now. You're a leaf filter ad. Yeah, okay. I know. We don't need to be reminded of it. But here's the old advertising maxim. Just when you're getting nauseous from hearing something, they're starting to listen to it. And they've taken it a little too far, though, haven't they? Luciano from Pittston. How are you, Luciano?
Bob, thank you for taking my call. Let me just quickly say that there's a lot, as you know, there's a lot of prisoners that are highly educated and are hardworking, and we're hardworking. And so that nonsense about, brother, I say this with love, that hardworking attitude about people, hardworking illegal migrants, whatever word you want to give them, is horse manure. Because as you know, you've been around prisoners. I lived on the streets. I met highly educated, very hardworking before they committed a crime, Bob.
Luciano, my only point was this, that the vast majority of them want to come here for not for free things, but for a better life. And they've struggled hard to get here. And I just say this, though. Then why don't we make them do it the right way? They'll still come. We'll still have substantial immigration. Illegal immigration should be a non-starter because it's illegal.
Well, Bob, let me just say this. Bundy was highly educated. He was hardworking, and he was a serial killer. Let me tell you what happened in California, and this is not unusual. I met a person that was seriously injured because an undocumented migrant was driving with an expired fake ID driver's license. It's finally Pennsylvania. I said this to your call screener. I've said this to many people, and many Chicanos and Puerto Ricans and Cubans know this is true. Finally, the United States, with the help of Donald Trump's administration, finding out that migrants are walking. You can get fake Social Security card, fake ID, picture ID for probably $450 in North Philly around Diamond, Susquehanna from gang members.
Well,
and Bob, as you know that is a felony. You're a trained lawyer. That is a felony, not a misdemeanor. Driving with wrong ID.
Well, Stacey Garrity, our treasurer, who's running against Shapiro next year. She will be on at 11 o'clock today, and she's going to talk about the $75 million loss of funds that Pennsylvania faces because our governor, the phony moderate, he's a flaming left-winger, he has issued thousands of driver's licenses to illegals, 12 of whom were just captured in Oklahoma. And he's putting all of us at risk. He's also the guy who will not check. And there are reports that up to 17% of our Medicaid recipients are illegal also. And he refuses to have his agencies check. And we're going to lose money because of this fool.
One last statement. All the Republican states Oklahoma, etc., Georgia, Alabama, all 21 or 29 Republican states all have put stringent rules and regulations against migrants. Pennsylvania is one of 11 states that still allow migrants. They're getting all the East Coast states like New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New Jersey, etc., California, Seattle, Washington, with a second socialist mayor that they hired. And socialist mayor in Seattle, Washington.
Yep.
So Mandami, when you go see Donald Trump, he said it on a talk radio station.
See, socialist is a mild word. They're communists. That's what they are.
Absolutely, Bob. Thank you. Forgive me for my. I get angry because I told you I met a lady in California. She was hit by a migrant. He had no ID, no social security card. He's driving with a fake driver's license. He put her in a wheelchair, Bob, about 12 years ago. Freaking illegal. Pardon my French. Have a good day, Bob. Take care,
man.
Bob.
Thanks, Luciano. We've got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Let's hear from our great sponsors. Then we're going to have a veterans tribute. We'll have the weather. And then the Pie Man cometh. We'll be back. Our Veterans Tribute this hour and every hour, this day and every day. Brought to you by our man, John Basiliga. Featuring today just one of his great companies, Basiliga Hospitality. We mentioned the bar restaurants, the Old Brook Inn, the Far Street Tavern, the Queen City Tavern. Well, guess what? Fine dining like you've never had it before in a modern take. I'll be visiting there this weekend, probably multiple times. A Terra 519. I just go, it's amazing. Glittering, beautiful. Food is outstanding. The service, personalities, all there, baby. And then you want an old school take on the same concept? The Stegmeyer Mansion, downtown Wilkes-Barre. You'll feel like you're in another era. Feel like a coal baron. Hugh Rogers. Mr. Rogers died unexpectedly on October 31st. Born in Scranton, PA, raised in nearby Dunmore. He attended St. Paul's and then Scranton Preparatory, graduating in 1960. He got a bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Scranton in 1965. After completing officer candidate school in Rhode Island, Hugh spent 3 years as a Navy officer, including serving aboard the USS Bexar in Vietnam. He later spent several years in the Navy Reserves. 1969, he joined Ryder Truck Rental in Reading, PA. He served later as manager of the firm in Elizabeth, New Jersey, and then as head of the Ryder division out of the Scranton area. In the late 70s, he became district manager of Ryder Systems for the New York, New Jersey area, retiring from that post in 2004. When his town started a local TV channel, Hugh hosted his own show for a period of time. He was an active member of the Hobbyists, an organization of retired men, and played in the group's tennis and bowling leagues. He and his wife, Meg O'Brien Rogers, who passed away in 2018, enjoyed traveling Europe, Middle East, South America, East Asia, Australia, New Zealand. He's survived by his daughter, Maggie White, his son, John White, and their children, his grandchildren, as well as his son, Zeke Rogers, and many other family members. Hugh Rogers, our veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. Storm Tracker 16 forecast, meteorologist Joe Snedeker. Today, cloudy with drizzle, 48 degrees, 42 outside the studio right now. Tonight, cloudy with rain, low 42. Saturday, rain tapering off in the morning, then breaks of clouds and sun, high 50. Sunday, partly sunny, 48. I don't know. I just never ceases to amuse. Well, that all means the Pie Man cometh. How are you, Peter Delaporta?
Robert! How you doing?
Oh, doing great. Always better when you're around.
Stay with you, Bob. I'm glad we didn't put Fetterman on. I think we need to find another Democrat to pick on.
Well, no, I think it's funny. It's I think he probably think it was funny.
Right? Yeah. I think I would like to hear the tape of John Kennedy saying Jasmine Crockett and AOC are the reasons why they put directions on a shampoo bottle.
Yeah, I know. Rinse and repeat. Dear Lord, I don't think they'd understand that. Well, Pie Man, we got the Eagles game coming up, another big one.
Yeah, we got lots coming the upcoming week, Bob.
Talk to me.
Okay, we got The first place Eagles at 8-2 are visiting the second place NFC Dallas Cowboys, who are 4-5-1 at Dallas, the AT&T Stadium for a Week 12 division matchup, 4:30 on Sunday. The Eagles now have 4 straight wins. Last week they beat the Lions in a 16-9 in an absolute defensive war. It was another win for the defense. They're incredible. I think they have the best defense in Eagles history, certainly the best in the NFL. They made the key stops when they had to. The Lions were only 3 for 13 on third downs, 0 for 5, Bob, on fourth down conversions, 0 for 1 in the red zone, and 5 batted passes, and relentless pressure on the quarterback with 2 sacks. Your golf partner is unquestionably Nick Fangio, the best defensive coordinator in the NFL.
And we love that the Eagles have him. We love the Eagles have him.
He just the adjustments he makes is just incredible. And this new guy they brought in, Jalen Phillips, is playing incredibly. You know, Jalen Phillips was picked by Vic Fangio down in Miami, first round.
Okay.
And now he's followed him up to the Eagles, and he's made such a difference.
All right, well, let's get to the ball game. What's going to happen Sunday?
Okay, well, the offense is struggling again. They only put up 16 points despite defensive turnovers the defense made. Penalties plagued them again. They had 9 penalties for 78 yards, and the offensive line is full of injuries, including Lane Johnson going off with a foot injury. Maybe he's out for the season. You know, the Eagles should win, but, you know, in a division rival game, there's always a level of intensity, and this one's likely to be a slugfest. Dallas, you know, they have 2 great running backs, and Dak Prescott is always a threat. So my predictions, Bob, they can't take this one too lightly. You know, they did that against the Giants, and the Giants roundly beat them at 34-17.
Mm-hmm.
The spread is 3.5. Over/under is 46.5. And I have the Eagles winning, moving to 9-2 in another defensive battle, low-scoring game, 21-14.
All right, the Pie Man. He's
Yeah.
Our guy. I'll tell you, our guys. You and Chet Parlavecchio and Sid Allen, and you call it like you see it, and you stick your neck out. I love
those
it.
2 guys. Now next week, Bob, we have a very short week where the 7-3 first place Bears come to Philly on Friday.
Yeah, so we got to do Wednesday, Pie Man.
Thanksgiving for a 3:00 game.
So
that should be a war.
We'll do a Wednesday Pie Man cometh. Okay.
Okay. And you know, I want to make the point that the Eagles, these wins, you know, are important because they need to get that home field advantage, which makes such a difference in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It looks like, you know, they're targeting again playing the Rams again in the playoffs. Now they've had the Rams number, but, you know, again, home field advantage makes you know, all the difference in the world.
By the way, I love this the NFL going with Black Friday games because I don't shop. I'm totally uninterested in Black Friday, but I'm very interested in NFL and beer.
Right.
Or scotch, whichever.
Yeah, while you're on Amazon getting all the deals.
Yeah, I won't be on Amazon. I won't be at a store. Those things I can promise you.
Right.
All right, man. Well, we'll talk to you next Wednesday. We'll see how this one turns out.
All right. Well, Bob, I want to wish you and your great family a happy Thanksgiving, and fly, Eagles, fly.
All right, man. The Pie Man cometh, the Pie Man speaketh, and now the Pie Man goeth. All right, brother. Have a great weekend.
All right, brother.
We'll take a break and be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Remember that song? The Partridge Family. They moved to number 1 with their hit, I Think I Love You, Murph tells us, just 2 months after the show premiere. Now, I used to watch the Partridge Family, and I was a half-assed drummer. Danny Bonaduce played the drums. I mean, I remember the show. But the first album I bought was Steppenwolf Live. It was not the Partridge Family, I can assure you. And before that in the history, this date, 1963, U.S. President John F. Kennedy flies to Texas. He speaks at the dedication of the Aerospace Medical Health Center at Brooks Air Force Base, San Antonio, Texas. He's to be killed the next day. We'll be off air, so we won't be able to do any of that. Bulldog, maybe we should pull out at least the Cronkite thing, since we're not going to be here for tomorrow for the anniversary of the assassination. Stacey Garrity and her gang are in the studio here. We're going to talk to her after the news. But first of all, I might as well say hello while you're here, Stacey.
Hey, Bobby. Great to be with you.
It's good to see you. And I told her how excited she is to be running for statewide office again. But but you know what? I actually know. I've told you this off air. It's the same thing I believe. I think a traditional sort of straightforward candidate was not going to beat Shapiro, but I think you're the zag. And I think you can win it. I really do. But the Republicans better wake up after this last election and realize what's at stake and what they have to do. But we'll be talking to Stacey Garrity, our great state treasurer, after the news. A couple other guys. I pictured the lights dimmed and Barry White in the background listening to the Pie Man gushing over the Eagles' defense. Somebody else said, Bob, the leaf filter and the Bowman commercial should combine, and Ron could fall off the ladder due to the arrow. Somebody else, that real irony of that accident, that's the one that we got called in by William, is that 2 presidents couldn't be farther apart and the streets intersect. I know, Washington and Biden. We got to get rid of the street name. It's actually a complete disgrace. And isn't it appropriate that the runaway, who may be an illegal alien, we can only guess, just to update all of you, one of our great listeners called in and said, I just saw an accident on North Washington and Spruce Street, Biden Street. And the driver who hit the small family, as soon as the car stopped, he got out and just ran away. We're thinking, well, I wonder why, anyway. Wait a minute, somebody's saying that Danny Bonaduce played the bass and Chris was the drummer. But Poet Joe says the same thing. Really? I was sure Danny Bonaduce played. Do you remember this, Stacey? Remember the Partridge Family?
I think I love you. Yes.
But
I do remember.
Didn't Danny Bonaduce play the drums?
I thought he did, but
What
that's
did I
so long
miss
ago.
here?
Oh my gosh.
Well,
I used to watch the Partridge Family.
Yeah. Well, consider me confused at this point. Not that it has any significance of any kind, but yeah. How about that? All right. I don't know. But I just got to say that the leaf blower or leaf filter commercial that we air, look at, they're paying us. Hang in there. We'll get through it. They do need a different commercial. They should mix it up a little bit. Tenor Jim from Wilkes-Barre says, Bob, please convey the following to our least favorite advertiser. Leave us alone. Very clever. Thank you. So, Stacey, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but I know you follow what's happening in Washington.
I do. And
we had this, what's her name? Crockett? I've talked, Jasmine Crockett. Did you hear her statement? That
No.
She made a statement at a hearing. And she went through a list. They're trying to, the Democrats are trying to fight back on this Jeffrey Epstein stuff. And she runs through a list of people who took, Republicans who took money from Jeffrey Epstein. It wasn't the pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. It was people named Jeffrey Epstein.
I did see that. That was crazy. I don't know why they're even making such a big deal about it. If they could have linked Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein, don't you think they would have done that during the Biden administration?
Without doubt.
100%.
It's these things are so obvious, but the today's Democrat leadership gets a narrative, and they will slavishly hold on to it no matter what it is. And then as soon as that blows up, they go to the next. This seamlessly.
Agreed. And I don't think they give the American people enough credit because I think most people see right through that.
I hope so, man. I hope. Well, I mean, the key to this race, and we'll talk about it when we come back, the key to your race for governor is that this guy's got to be exposed. Shapiro's got to be exposed for the phony that he is.
Absolutely.
And I think you're the right the right person to do it. I really do. By the way, somebody else told me that the little boy, the smallest kid, played the drums, not Danny Bonaduce. So I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'll stand corrected. That's Mr. Paul, my executive producer. So as soon as he says it, and about 5 others of you texted in on it, I realize I don't got it. All right, my Picardo Jewelers watch tells me that it's 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock and change. So that means we've got to go to the news. We'll do all of that and come back with Stacey Garrity, our state treasurer, our candidate for governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Yeah. I get hives going to political events. You know it, baby. The war goes on. Great good morning, everyone. My Picardo's Jeweler watch tells me it's 11:08 a.m. here in the great Northeast this beautiful Friday, November 21, year of our Lord, 2025. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and with the help of our man John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today thanks to John, like Hugh Rogers, Scranton, Joseph Herman, Hanover Township, and Richard Figler, Old Forge. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle, gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all in a world where an entire political party, the Democrats, the establishment, the globalists, they've all gone insane, and they are all working against your own self-interest. They just are. They don't care. It's their agenda or nothing. Stacey Garrity's with us. She's our Commonwealth treasurer. And Stacey, first, I want to thank you for doing an amazing job as a treasurer. You got involved with all kinds of things, including helping us here at our local VA.
I did.
And we're just honored to have you here. I don't let many people in the studio, just so you know, because I can't do my push-ups. I can't go in and yell at the bulldog. It restricts my silliness. But honored to have you here.
And I'm honored to be here.
Yeah. All right. So you decided, what was it that spurred you to say, I'm going to run for governor? Because it is a monumental task. Nobody underestimates that.
It is. Well, Bob, here's the thing. We rank in Pennsylvania 38th overall in the economy, 39th in education, 41st overall. And we have the 5th highest tax burden in the nation. And when you think about it, we have been mediocre for so long that Pennsylvanians don't realize it doesn't have to be this way.
Yeah.
We have such hardworking people. We have world-class industries, abundant natural resources. We should be leading the nation. And we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to turn our state around. And so I just couldn't sit back on the sidelines and watch any longer.
Well, there are so many of us that are thrilled that you decided that, hey, I'll take this mountain on, because he's going to have more money than God, just like he did last time. His ability to raise fund. He's got so many people fooled. He's a left-wing lunatic. I was pointing out within the last month, we discovered that he had given $5 million to a Muslim school. Well, what about the other religions? Nothing against the Muslim school. Well, they were associated with
Hamas.
all kinds of radical elements and a radical mosque in Philadelphia. Wow.
They were a radical mosque that supported Hamas because he wants to be all things to all people, and he really doesn't take a position. And, because he's never been challenged, people don't realize that he is not a moderate. He supports biological males competing against our girls in sports. He supports gender-affirming care for trans little kids using our taxpayer dollars, and he has zero work requirement. And guess what? He's running the state out of money. This budget that was 4.5 months late, by the way, we just blew through the entire surplus. So the only thing that's left is the rainy day fund, and we should never, ever use a rainy day fund to plug a budget hole.
Unless it's a rainy day.
Unless it's raining.
Yeah. Dear Lord. Again, people don't appreciate how awful he has been as governor. And now absent. I mean, he's got a $3 million TikTok team just doing all his nonsense. $3 million of our money.
It's our taxpayer dollars. And, he's flying off to Aspen, to LA, to Nantucket. And I'll tell you where I am. I'm here, working hard for the people of Pennsylvania, going to all 67 counties.
It has been, since you started the campaign, it's been a grind because you've got a job to do. Although, fortunately, your job within Pennsylvania has many duties that could associate itself with campaigning, so it's not going to deter you from being our treasurer.
Oh no, we've broken every record at Treasury, and I plan to continue to break them. I mean, we've given back 528 military decorations, and I bring that up because I know that's near and dear to your heart, including 13 Purple Hearts, 3 Bronze Stars, and a Gold Star medal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, and people, not everybody knows you're a veteran yourself.
I am. Operation Desert Storm.
Tell us about your service.
Sure. So I spent 30 years in the Army Reserve. Operation Desert Storm, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom.
Wow.
So last deployment, I was acting battalion commander at Camp Bucca, which is in southern Iraq. We had 7,000 detainees, 225 on death row, had 1,200 soldiers, and we were the very first internment facility to have 0 abuse allegations and 0 escape attempts. And I hit my mandatory retirement date in 2016. Had I not hit that, I would have never even thought about running for a political office because serving wasn't as the honor of my lifetime.
Yeah. Well, you don't look old enough to hit
I am.
mandatory retirement date. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. Well, old enough to be seasoned, but not old enough, too old to do the job. That's for sure.
No, that's for sure.
You're just a bundle of energy. All right. What are the things? Somebody texted in this. Bob, can you ask Stacy if she's going to help us on all these utility companies that keep jacking up their rates?
So, short answer, yes. So, Pennsylvania, if you look at our electricity costs, we are the 5th highest in the nation as far as
and we're
increasing.
one of the biggest producers of electricity.
Exactly. So what we really need to do is unleash the energy that we have right here in Pennsylvania. 25% of all the natural gas in America is right here, and yet we export electricity to Maryland. That's just insane. And so we really should be driving down our costs, increasing our jobs here, and making sure that the lights can stay on without begging Washington for more money, because guess what? It's not Harrisburg's money, it's our money.
Yeah. Pennsylvania State Treasurer Stacey Garrity. Nobody knows that better than you as State Treasurer.
That's right.
Somebody asked, Bob asked Stacey, the Biden administration gave Pennsylvania around $9 million for transgender ideology to be taught to our kids in public schools. How about if she is elected? Would she give that money to charter and cyber schools? And just asking that question.
So here's the thing. Governor Shapiro has held not 1, not 2, but 3 positions on school choice. He was for it. Then, of course, he was against it. And now it's up to the General Assembly. I, of course, have always held the same position. Parents, not bureaucrats, should decide the best way to educate their kids. And it shouldn't depend on what their zip code is. So, yes, I would increase school choice, increase charter, cyber charter, homeschooling. Because, it cannot be a cookie cutter model. And this is a lifeline for our kids.
Yeah.
And while Shapiro might be able to afford to play political games with their education, our kids certainly can't.
Stacey Garrity, one of the things that he did regarding education, when he backed off his choice, he then prevented kids from going from a horrible public school to even a reasonable public school, one that wasn't failing. So you couldn't even move between public schools. He's extreme lunatic left on education.
Well, he's co-opted by the teachers' unions, and so it's always going to be that way. And like I said, we should put this in the hands of parents because they know the best way, that their kids should be educated. And I truly believe that.
All right, Stacey Garrity's our guest. She's our treasurer here in the state of Pennsylvania. She's running for governor against the phony, Josh Shapiro. And even though he's a University of Rochester grad like I am, But I don't think we learned the same things up there.
Apparently not.
Yeah. But we're going to take a break. We're going to listen to our great sponsors, a little history, a little music, and then back with Stacey Garrity here on the Bob Cordaro Show. We had to listen to it that far. Queen. Murph tells us this date, 1975, they released their hit album, Night at the Opera. The title was taken from the Marx Brothers movie of the same name. And that's Bohemian Rhapsody. Stacey Garrity's with us. She's the treasurer here for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and she is, thank God, running for governor against Josh Shapiro. And her job is to expose reality to as many people as she can. And frankly, given her background, both military, professionally, and as our state treasurer, if she does that, if people pay attention, she can win.
I agree.
Now, so Stacey, you were involved and you've observed this long budget standoff. Tell us how we did on the budget. Not too well.
Not so great, unfortunately. So last year we ended the year spending $3 billion more than what we brought in. And so this year we were 4.5 months late and then ended up blowing through the entire surplus. And when we're late with the budget, you know who gets hurt is our vulnerable populations because they do not get their money. But guess what? Our General Assembly and our governor, they get paid. It's ridiculous. Now, I will say that, Republicans don't have the governor's mansion. They don't have the state house. So the Senate Republicans worked as hard as they could to take as much bad as they could out of it. But in the end, it's not a great number. And so we already have the 5th highest tax burden in the nation. So what's going to happen after next year?
Yeah.
Either we go through the rainy day fund or taxes increase. And I can tell you, taxes will increase.
Yeah.
Because they will not cut a single program. Everybody loves to spend your taxpayer dollars. And you know what? In my opinion, just like we expect families to live within their means, our government should be doing the same thing.
Amen. And he just keeps getting away from so many things that he's done, like $5 million for this radical mosque in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Like going back on all his promises regarding education.
Correct.
Like spending more money than we take in consistently. It's just, how does he get away with it? How is this happening? Do we have that biased a press apparatus in Pennsylvania?
We do. The media will not cover him. I mean, they haven't covered his radical positions, and he's very vocal about it. In fact, he said that anybody that didn't support biological males competing against our girls were extremists. Okay, so I guess that's 80% of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, man. Well, recently, and I brought this up yesterday, Secretary Duffy, our transportation secretary, said there's about $75 million penalty because when they did a raid in Oklahoma, there were a dozen criminal illegal immigrants, not just immigrants, not just illegal immigrants, but a dozen criminal illegal immigrants who got their licenses, CDLs from Pennsylvania.
That's right. And you know what? Their crimes were human smuggling, money laundering, assault. I mean, these are bad guys. And yes, they got their CDLs from Pennsylvania. And then it gets worse, as you know. A terrorist from Uzbekistan picked up a terrorist that was released by the Biden administration in 2023. Were you aware of that?
No.
And then given a work permit. Why do we give a work permit to somebody that is a terrorist? So, we've issued 12,500 CDLs to non-U.S. citizens. How many other terrorists are out there with a CDL that was issued from Pennsylvania?
Amazing.
It is.
Stacey Garrity, so one other thing is our Medicaid spending is out of control. And everybody's looking around. Why? Well, we don't check under Governor Shapiro. We don't check on the legal status of people receiving Medicaid funds.
That's right. And so now that's going to be a requirement to check. They signed everybody up that they could when the laws were expanded. And really, that was shameful. And I think that was just a money grab to get more federal dollars in. And now we're going to have to go back and revisit that. Because able-bodied people that have no dependents, that don't have a disability, that are not a caretaker, they should be able to comply with this very modest work requirement of 20 hours a week. Or if you don't want to work, volunteer. It's all good.
How about that? They were outraged that someone would have to get off the couch if they're able-bodied. By the way, if they're not supporting a child or raising a child. That's another exception to it.
Exactly. There are many, many exceptions.
Yeah. I call it the big mediocre bill because it wasn't that great. But it was better than we had. It was better than the status quo. And it's the start of turning things around from the ridiculous Biden administration, which Shapiro was all in on energy, on every facet of it, correct?
He was. If you look at the Shapiro administration, think about when we were locked down with COVID. Who enforced that?
Yeah.
who arrested a young lady was arrested going to visit her elderly parents. Who was the attorney general?
Yep.
Josh Shapiro. So if you look at, you know, suing the Little Sisters of the Poor, not once, but twice. I mean, suing Donald Trump 28 times, going all over MSNBC, bragging about it. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
The thing that got me to turn on Shapiro, he brought 2 prosecutions here against working class regular people, and he did it for the left-wing lunatics at our local newspaper to get their approval. And he sued a bunch of prison guards who basically went bankrupt defending themselves and won every single trial. And then he went after people in the school district, including a janitor, perp walked a 70-year-old woman. I mean, it was so disgracefully political, and he lost all the cases.
He's not a good person.
Yeah.
You know, and Pennsylvania needs a change, and we have this great opportunity, and there's so much enthusiasm as I travel around the state, you know, to make a change because people realize we are mediocre, and it doesn't have to be this way.
You look at the resources. You touched on this in the beginning of the interview. There are so many resources available within Pennsylvania, so many companies, so much infrastructure, the energy on top of all of that, the educational system, higher education and otherwise, that could be improved, but it's all the ingredients are there.
Yes, we have everything that we need to be leading the nation, but we're not, and we're years behind. And so we educate our kids at these wonderful trade schools and great universities, and then where do they go? Because we don't have opportunity for them here. They go to Ohio. They go to Virginia. They even go to West Virginia. They're even doing better than us.
Yeah.
You know, we're overregulated, and we really need to deregulate and, you know, announce that Pennsylvania is open for business.
Yeah. The highest ranking Pennsylvania has within the country is second, and that's the amount of our gas tax.
You're right. We're leading in something.
That's our highest rank. Well, Stacey Garrity, thank you. I know you have to go, but I appreciate you coming in, and I know you're in this area. You've been in Northeast Pennsylvania dozens and dozens of times. We feel at home with you.
Yes, I consider this home. When 20 out of 30 years of my reserves I did in Ashley, Pennsylvania, so right up the road. So folks want to follow me. That would be great if they could go to GarrityForPA.com. And we're on Truth Social now at Garrity for PA, as well as ex-Garrity4PA.
And that's Garrity with an A.
Yes.
You got to remember that because
nope,
we have
I'm
a
not
supermarket chain here that we love.
Garrity.
All right. Stacey Garrity.
Thanks for having me.
Our state treasurer, our candidate for governor. We'll take a break and be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Our Veterans Tribute this hour and every hour, this day and every day. Brought to you by our friend John Basiliga, a friend of the veterans, and his great company, Basiliga Hospitality. Well, talk about a variety of options. 3 incredible bar restaurants, and I mean it, and if you go, you'll agree with me. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. The Far Street Tavern on the great, in the great Trips Park section of West Scranton on Far Street. And the Queen City Tavern in Oliphant, right in the downtown. Fine dining, yeah, we got that. A Terra 519. Downtown Scranton, Stegmeyer Mansion. Downtown Wilkes-Barre. Nightlife, yeah, we got that. The Scranton Art House, the best movie house in Northeast Pennsylvania. Downtown Scranton, Lackawanna Avenue. And Sergei's Live, the nightclub. It is the nightclub. Open tonight, open tomorrow. It's a banger every time. Richard Figler, he was just 75 when he passed October 29th. He was from Old Forge. Born in Larksville, educated at St. Vincent's, and then a graduate of Wyoming Valley West High School. He attended Luzerne County Community College. As a young man, he enlisted in the Army National Guard and served for several years there. He started his lifelong career as a meat cutter manager for Acme Markets in 1970, ultimately retiring from Garrity's Supermarket. Garrity's with an E, not an A. From a very young age, Rich Figler was a hard worker. He took on a long paper route as a child, saved his money, bought a bike, and got a bigger paper route until eventually making deliveries with the used car he purchased when he turned 16. In the summer, that wasn't all he did. He worked at various farms, weeding, picking, packing, whatever. He'd go to Boy Scout camp as well. Rich had a natural aptitude to fix almost anything. When he first met his future father-in-law, Walter, he found the mentor he was looking for. They were inseparable till Walter passed away in 2000. He also adored his mother-in-law, Roberta. She never failed to have a hot meal waiting for her crew, no matter what they did. Together for 44 years, Rich is survived by his wife, the former Lori Bubernack, his sister, nephews, nieces, and many, many other family members. Our veteran this hour, Richard Figler. Brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Joe Snedeker. Today, cloudy with drizzle, 48 degrees, 44 outside as I speak. Tonight, cloudy with rain down to 42. Saturday, rain tapering off in the morning, then breaks the clouds and sun, 50 degrees. Sunday, partly sunny, high 48. You know, I'll tell you, I love weekends. I miss you guys, but the only reason I love them is I don't have to get up early in the morning. And I still do hate to get ready in the dark. I truly do. But, you know, a small work to be here with you guys, which I love. Let's go to Max from Dixon City. How are you, man?
Not too good, obviously, what's going on in this country right now. I mean, that lady, Miss Garrity, she, is telling the truth. I see it in Philadelphia. I mean, the money being funneled to mosques, radicalism, the murders, the crime. Just look in the, just look. Yeah. The crimes yesterday, a guy stabbing people in a daycare, shooting at Chickies and Pete's. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And Larry Krasner, the DA, just lets them out. And it's not just Philadelphia. You saw in Chicago, this crazy man set a woman on fire for no reason. He said, burn, burn, burn alive, and doused her with gasoline on the train. He was let go by 2 judges, arrested over 70 times, and he attacked a social worker. They let him go free to kill and murder other people. This is a a conjoined effort. Okay, this is all consolidated on the left, and the money's coming in from George Soros. And here's an ironic thing: when the left called Trump a Nazi, well, George Soros actually worked for the Nazis. He actually appropriated all the property of the dead Jews, and he's a Jew. So what does that tell you? He sold out his own people. Josh Shapiro, he's a Jew, and guess what happened? They said, you can't run for vice president because you're Jewish. And guess what he did? He said, okay, and he stuck by them. If that were me, I would have ran to the other side and fought tooth and nail to beat them at everything.
Well, you know what he did? He gave $5 million to a radical mosque in Philadelphia.
That's what he did. Yeah,
that's how, because he bought them off with our money.
Right. Yeah, because you know how mosques and radical Islam, they love Jewish people, right?
Yep.
I mean, geez. I mean, that was such a smart investment. But this is the type of character we're dealing with on the left. Yep. People don't see it. All they see are the advertisements that, you know, all these monies from AIPAC and all these foundations, these nonprofits are pouring in, okay, to basically terraform America like they terraformed Dearborn, Michigan. Turn it into a radical Islamic state where people like us aren't welcome. A journalist named Nick Shirley was there just recently. He got mobbed and attacked. They called him racist. You can't be here. They kicked him out of the city just for who he was. Okay? They have taken over these cities. Some little Somalia in Minneapolis now, they were funneling tax dollars, our tax dollars, to Somalia.
Yes.
Okay?
Welfare. This is billions of dollars of state of Minnesota under idiot Tim Walz, a welfare fraud crisis, and the money ended up with through the Somali community to a terror group called El Shabaab. It's insane what these left-wing lunatics are doing.
It's beyond insane, and what's more insane is us. Okay, so we're just sitting here. We're getting ready for the football weekend or whatever. And basically our entire culture and livelihood is being ripped away from us. In 50 years, our placards and our tombstones will be upraised. Now, this is not a joke. If they do gain control, they will destroy our cemeteries, take away our entire culture. We would not exist in the history of the earth if it were up to them. And they are here terraforming our country right now to theirs.
And they
have
merged with the Democrat Party and the left to destroy our country and our culture. Max, thank you, my friend. I mean, we need the whole show for that. We really do. But I've got to talk to Kristen Powers. She's with Basiliga Hospitality. They've got the holiday market at the marketplace in Steamtown tomorrow, noon to 5, and here she is. Kristen, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Well, we got a chance to talk to a little different audience than our first hour audience. Tell us what you have going on noon to 5 tomorrow.
Tomorrow, noon to 5, at the Scranton Public Market, located on the second floor of the marketplace at Steamtown, we are having a pop-up market, and the theme is holiday. So there will be over 50 vendors that you could get all of your holiday gifts and needs and shop locally. So we have everything from cookies and canned goods, homegrown produce, teas, jewelry, accessories, coffee, wine, cider, beer. The list goes on and on. It's almost too many to even talk about.
Yeah. 50 local vendors. It's like,
yes.
I remember when it started, and it's just getting bigger and better and better. You got Santa Claus. You got the Grinch coming. I love it.
So good. Yeah. So, and the photos with Santa and the Grinch are free. You just bring your own camera or your cell phone.
So, and there's another one Saturday, December 13th. And
yep, there's another one. Yep. And if any of your listeners want to participate as a vendor, the application will only be open for one day only, and it will probably be this Sunday from 9 to 5. That's a little hint there. And you can follow our Facebook page to stay in the loop about that.
Or they could, and either the Facebook page or they could check with you on Saturday.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yep. Oh. They could talk to me in person or even shoot me an email, which is scrantonpublicmarket@gmail.com.
I love how this is growing. You're doing a great job with it. And John Basiliga's goal to turn this into our own Reading terminal is on track. It really is. You've done fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much. We're really excited and can't wait to see what the new year brings as well.
All right. Kristen Powers, tomorrow, Scranton Public Market, inside the marketplace at Steamtown. It'll be all happening right after the Scranton Santa Parade. Thank you, dear. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All
Have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you. I know you will because it's going to be fun. I can't wait to get down there tomorrow. Check it out. By the way, a lot of questions for Stacey Garrett I just could not get to. And I've got calls I've got to take and commercials, and you know all that stuff. But great stuff. Please ask Stacey. This is the one I really did want to ask. Why the Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission has never-ending rate increase already locked in. Where's the forensic audit on the Turnpike Commission? Why do executives make healthy six-figure salaries? Thank you. I want to tell you something. I know Stacey Garrity. I've watched her operate, too. She is our only chance for reform of this monster that is called Pennsylvania state government. She's the only chance we have. Let's go to Bill from Pittston quickly. Bill, how are you?
Good. I'm just listening to your former caller there. I'm not big on conspiracy theories, but I just can't walk away. I almost think the Mangami is either a socialist communist plant or possibly a Muslim plant to undermine the country. And you see the pattern in San Francisco, out there in, in the Midwest, all these socialists that are emerging. And like I said, I'm very leery of conspiracy, but I'm almost thinking they want to destroy New York. They want to bring this country down on their knees.
Yes. And by the way, the Islamists, not the Muslims, there's a difference. The Islamists, which Mandami is, they're playing the game with the left, who they hate. But they're playing the game to gain power and gain control here in the United States. And the crazy part, the sad part, it's working.
Yeah, that's where the conspiracy part comes in, and seeing other socialists emerge. And what he's proposing, we know is impossible. So what? And I would think that maybe Soros is involved in this as well, but I do think it's either a Muslim or communist plot.
He was a huge funder of Mamdani. Huge funder of Mamdani.
His son's with pictures with him.
Yep.
After his victory. Yeah. Like you said, they're using the Democrats, and the Democrats are so desperate they'll line up with Satan if they haven't already.
Crazy said. Well, in a lot of ways they have. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it, my man. All right, Larry from Plymouth. Hi, Larry. How are you?
Hi, Bob.
All right. Well, you called in about Boris Karloff.
Yes, I did, Bob.
I'm getting myself in a lather, so I better talk about Boris Karloff.
Okay, everybody talks about and calls him Frankenstein. Bob, he wasn't Frankenstein. He was the Frankenstein's monster. Dr. Frankenstein made him.
Okay, good.
Yes, and his real name, Dr. Frankenstein, was Colin Clive. But anyway, do you know who took over for Boris Karloff when he got too old to play the part?
Who?
Glenn Strange.
No, I never heard that name. How about that?
Well, if you ever watch Gunsmoke, you know Glenn Strange. He was the bartender.
That's hilarious.
And he played in the one movie, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
I'm a Boris Karloff fan.
I know, but I'm just giving you some history here.
Because of the Grinch.
Yeah, and what do you call it? Who else was it? Boris Karloff was in that. Bela Lugosi was in there. Lon Chaney Jr. was the Wolfman, and Vincent Price was the Invisible Man. But one thing I got to say, Bob. Yesterday, a guy called, I think he texted you, about tannerite. You remember the boom?
Yes, and when we were talking about it after, I said, I bet Larry's got some commentary on this.
Yeah, yes, I do. What I felt, Bob, was not tannerite. Believe me, I know. I've shot that stuff. And it doesn't bounce across mountains and everything. I've shot fireworks in my backyard louder than tannerite, and it didn't shake my house. And here's the thing. How come my house is the only house on the block that shook? Nobody else's. Now, what I've been thinking is, it might be, Bob, because See, I'm in touch with the other side. You know, I told you I meditate and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, Bob, I have even, maybe somebody's trying to send me a message, but Bob, I have seen the black-eyed children.
We have
you know who the black-eyed children are?
No.
Bob, the black-eyed children, they have, if you look at their eyes, there's no color. It's all black. And they go around, they're young kids, and they'll go around, maybe knock on somebody's door and say, hey, could I use your telephone to call my mother? We're lost. Don't ever let them in, Bob, because your life will never be the same again. I saw one. I saw one of them up Turkey Hill about 6 years ago, and I was getting gas, and out of the corner of my eye, I could see somebody walking over, and I thought he was going to throw something in the garbage. But he stopped about 10 feet from my car. And I look over, and he's staring at me. He looks real funny. And so I figured I'm not going to say anything. So I pulled up a little bit, about 10 feet, Bob. I looked all around. He was gone. He disappeared.
Now, Larry, you know we were playing the Twilight Zone theme.
I know, but
you were undeterred. You were undeterred, though.
But that's actually true, Bob. And there's another thing. And the old hag.
We're out,
now,
Larry, we're out of time. We got to go to this break.
Okay, and I don't mean Hillary Clinton.
Thanks, man. 11:50 on my Cordaro watch. Dr. Hook. Murph says he had the number one hit in the UK. This date, 1979, with When You're in Love with a Beautiful Woman. We're going to finish with the Stones. Start Me Up, because the weekend's starting up. This date, 1981. Moved up to number 3 with their hit Start Me Up. But we got a lot of business to do while they sing. Mother Teresa, St. Teresa for November 21st. Mary Regina gave me a gentle reminder. I read it, and this is what I do all the time. I read it and forgot about it. Do we know our poor people? Do we know the poor in our house, in our family? Perhaps they are not hungry for a piece of bread. Perhaps our children, husband, wife, are not hungry for food or naked or dispossessed. But are you sure there is no one there who feels unwanted, deprived of affection? Mother Teresa, November 21st. Don't overlook, especially with the holidays coming up. And I just want to do a shout out. Joanne Gallia, who's a dear friend of the program, but also a friend of ours, myself and Cutie, she gave us both Pocket Jesus. And I love it. It's going to be in my pocket along with my Berna. But it's going to be in my pocket. And thank you for that. So much to talk about. We've got to, I want to get in all these, Northwest area just voted to let transgender students use whatever bathroom they want. I don't get this. What is this about? It is not compassion. It is not compassion to the child that's going to use the bathroom. And it's certainly not compassion to the 99% who are going to use their own bathrooms. My God. What can we as parents do, the listener asked, and I don't know. You just got to vote. You've got to vote these bums out. They're losing their minds. Oh, Lord. Hey, it's Friday. Tomorrow never comes. Norma Cornett Merrick found it in the obit of our friend Doreen Goria. If I knew it would be the last time I'd see you walk out the door, I'd give you a hug and kiss and call you back for just one more. If I knew it would be the last time I'd spare an extra minute or two to stop and say I love you instead of assuming you know I do. So just in case tomorrow never comes, and today is all I get, I'd like to say how much I love you, and I hope we will never forget. Tomorrow isn't promised to anyone young or old alike, and today may be the last chance you get to hold your loved one tight. So if you're waiting for tomorrow, why not do it today? For if tomorrow never comes, you'll surely regret the day that you didn't take that extra time for a smile, a hug, or a kiss, and you were too busy to grant someone what turned out to be their final wish. So hold your loved ones close today and whisper in their ear that you love them very much and you'll always hold them dear. Take time to say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, or it's okay. And if tomorrow never comes, you'll have no regrets about today. My Picardo Jeweler watch tells me, and it's not a Raymond Wild, they have those. Not a Breitling, they have those. It's not Oris, they have those. It's not Longines, they have those. It's not a Michelle watch, they have those. Shinola, Luminox, Swiss Army, Seiko, they have those. It's not Tory Burch, it's not Victorinox. It's not Bulova, it's not G-Shock. It's a Picardo's watch. And it tells me it's 12:01. And that means I gotta go. Guys, have a great weekend. God willing, I'll be with you Monday morning to do this all again, to keep up the fight. But for now, we've got to gavel to a close this meeting of the Club for Common Sense. Have a great, safe, peaceful weekend.